Today I'm going to teach you how to factor polynomials using the ratio method. Now a ratio is like the one number over another number, so like a ratio of like 2 to 3 would mean like 2 of something is equal to 3 of something. Does that kind of make sense? I think you should understand. I think you should probably know how ratios work, so I'm not going to explain it. Also, why is my background black? I want it to be white again. There we go. I don't know why it was black. So first I'm just going to show you how it works and then we'll do an example, okay? Alright, so here's the first problem we're going to do. 8y squared minus 15y plus 7. And we're supposed to factor this. So first let's bring the 8 over to here. 8 times 7 is equal to 56. So we can say y squared minus 15y plus 8 times 7, which is 56. Now let's get some numbers that add to negative 15 and multiply to 56, which would be negative 8 and negative 7. And so now that we have these two numbers, let's bring back our original equation, but factor in negative 8 and negative 7. So 8y squared minus 8y minus 7y plus 7. Now if you can see here, we kind of have a ratio of 8 and negative 8, 7 and negative 7. So this is a ratio of 1 to negative 1. You see how? So like take this first number, if you multiply it by negative 1, you get this number. If you get this number, you multiply it by negative 1, you get this number. So now let's simplify this as far as we can. There's y in both of these, so we can get rid of y. There's 8 in both of these, so we can get rid of 8. So we can do 8y parenthesis y minus 1, and that is the same thing as this, simplified. And then we can do minus, because this one's a negative versus this one. Both of these are divisible by 7, so we can do negative 7y minus 1. And so this is what we're left with. These two are the same factors, so we can both of these are the same factors, so we can just ignore them and then look at these top ones. This factor is already done, we have to get the other factor. So we have y minus 1, 8y minus 7. And that is our answer. Alright, so these are the steps we have. Multiply a by c is what we did here to get this 56. Multiply this 8 by this 7 to get 56 here. Decompress b, which is getting this negative 8 and negative 7. Get the ratio of a, b, and bc, which is that 1 to negative 1 ratio. Go back to ax squared plus bx plus c, which is this. Go back to the original equation. Factor a, b, and bc by the ratio. So this is, so a, b, and bc, that ratio of 1 to negative 1. Get your other factor, which is this, and then simplify it if necessary, which we'll show in the next problem. Okay, so here we have 6y squared minus 29y plus 9, and we're supposed to factor this. So let's break up this 6 into this 9. So y squared minus 29y plus 54, I think? Yeah, 54. Now let's see what multiplies to 54 and adds to negative 29. Those numbers would be negative 2 and negative 27. Now let's go back to our original problem and factor this in. So 6y squared minus 2y minus 27y plus 9. Now this here is a ratio of 3 to negative 1. And this right here is a ratio of negative 3 to 1. Now these ratios are the same because you can just put this negative over here. So both of these ratios are 3 to negative 1. Let's put a box around that and bring it back up to the top. And so now that we know what our ratio is, let's try to factor this out. So we can simplify a y out of here, and we can simplify a 2 out of here. So we get 2y 3 minus 1. And if we look over here, we can simplify a 9 out of this. 3y minus 1. And then now let's simplify this. So if we divide the 3y minus 1, we're left with 2y minus 9. And so now let's say you do this the other way. And so now with the factors, let's say you do this the other way. Let's say with the factors you did 6y minus 27y minus 2y plus 9. And we can see what the ratio of this is. So this is a ratio of 1 to negative 4.5. And this is a ratio of 1 to negative 4.5. So now let's do this so we can simplify a 6y out of here. So 6y, 1y minus 4.5. And what can we simplify here? We can simplify a negative 2. So minus 2 y minus 4.5. And 1y is the same thing as y, so we can get rid of that. And now let's simplify this. So we know that y minus 4.5 is here. And on the outside, we have 6y minus 2. And so now we see that, hey, 4.5 shouldn't be here because that's not a regular number. We can simplify this further. So here, let's break this up a little bit. So we have y minus 4.5 and we have 6y minus 2. Now, we need to multiply this by 2, so we need to divide this by 2. So divided by 2 multiplied by 2. This divided by 2 is 3y minus 1. And this times 2 is 2y minus 9. That is the same thing as what we had over here. 3y minus 1, 2y minus 9. Same thing over here. You're just simplifying it if you put the wrong thing where. So it doesn't matter the order that you put it in. How fun.